come and what has come. So, just to start us all out, we got dynamic sit points, and that is cool. And you guys have already been doing a lot of cool stuff with them. I have never seen so many amazing, hilarious, terrifying, but amazing things that, yeah, so far as you guys have already done. So, definitely check out some of the worlds that have already utilized it, like Loki's Sledding World, Fire Goat's Amusement Park, etc., etc. And we'll talk more about that later. But first, let's start us all out. Wally, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure thing. I'm Wally, your friendly neighborhood support giraffe, here to stomp trolls, answer tickets, and make sure everybody's having a good time.
Excellent. Daisy?
Yes, I'm Daisy. You all know me as Daisy Winthrop. I help with studio marketing and support.
There you go. All right, Lacey? I do many things. Community manager, wearer of many hats, and enjoyer of many dynamic sit point new worlds. So, Sean,
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm on the engineering team.
he does all the cool stuff, makes it all happen. All right. So, just to start us off, as you guys know, we have had a little bit of an outage earlier this week, but we were able to get it back up. Actually, by when I say we, it was the engineering team that did an amazing job putting it back together. So thank you guys for hanging with us with the AWS outage. Seriously appreciate the understanding, and we were all a little surprised with it. But we got back up, and so things are all looking good. We have some really cool events happening this week/weekend. We have the Cyberdog party that's going to be happening on Saturday. We also have a couple of really cool things, such as the Twinkletown one coming up, which is a community celebration, kind of like a Christmas stereo wave. Will be happening on the 23rd. Make sure to get your free shirt, like Daisy is wearing. And we are also going to be having the shout out to the home makeover contest, which I believe is being run by Nikki. And you can find more about that on the events page. Also, we have a bit of, if you guys didn't see inside of Discord, there's a little bit of an announcement with the Lost Horizon stuff, global events going on right now. It's made things complicated internationally, as well as, all the outages of not just Sansar, but other important platforms like Gmail and stuff. Or rather, Lost Horizons decided to push back some of the events, but they will be rescheduled. And we still have everything, our Crust, Infected Mushroom, Little Gay Brother, Gas Tower Presents, etc., etc. You can check the schedule for things. Those are still, as planned, going on. Should be good. So, we'll definitely give an announcement as to when those are rescheduled for. But, yeah, for right now, we will go ahead and talk a little bit about the dynamic sit points. And I'm going to give that over to Sean because the man, the myth, the legend, did a lot of it, if not all of it himself. So I'd love if you want to go ahead and introduce a little bit of what we implemented.
Sure. So we released the new release last week. Introduced dynamic sit points and some other features, like multi-world select, and we did some script improvements. So I think that was a pretty good release. Dynamic sit points allow you to sit on movable objects, so things can be animated, moved by script, dynamic objects, that kind of stuff. As well, like you can stay in first person when seated now. Hopefully people recognize that. You can also emote while seated. I don't know if people have tried that. You can, if you want to open their emote menus and try
there we go.
clapping or whatever, you'll stay seated while emoting, and you can stay in first person while emoting. So I think that's pretty great. What else? So a lot of good stuff. I'm seeing a lot of cool stuff come out into a lot of really awesome worlds coming out. There are some fixes coming that we know about, so we're going to try and get a release out either today or tomorrow. Hopefully today, that fix some bugs. So we're going to fix. There is a 1 frame behind bug with sit points. So you might have noticed that if you're on like a fast roller coaster you might like see the back of your neck or something. So that's going to get fixed. You should stay right in your head if you're in first person. So I think that's really great. Second one is the teleport to friend bug is getting fixed. So that you will now be whirled up when you teleport to your friend, even if they're crazy in a sit point. So that's getting fixed. There's a couple other small bugs. I'm trying to fix a bug today that came up, which is like if you have an event, you can't see kind of the instances of that event. So we're going to be looking at that one today. Hopefully get that out. So just a few fixes that are going to come out over the next, hopefully today, that will kind of, quality of life on the sit point stuff. So that's really great. In terms of going forward, there may be some more work done on sit points. That's going to be good. Like I might look at having the VR perform better in sit points. Right now, you kind of like the best way to do VR for sit points is to be kind of facing directly forward. I know if you turn to the side, you get some weirdness. So might look into that. Otherwise, we're going to be moving on to some other technology. The main things we're working on right now are improvements to the reaction system to open it up to creators. So, being able to create your own reactions and listen for them and have them appear in the UI. So we're working on that. We're working on some improvements to the screenshot utility. This is both for, because our screenshot utility is, hasn't been updated in a long time. We want people to take more screenshots. If we want people to take more screenshots and post more stuff to social media or whatever, then we need to improve that. Along with that is a script API for taking screenshots, for having people take screenshots. You can do things like photo booths, or if you're riding the roller coaster, you can have like a Splash Mountain type photo taken of the group or something at the key point. So a little bit of improvements there. That's partly just because we want to improve things, and partly because we're working with a partner, and for certain use cases they have, we need to improve that tool. Some other things we're going to be working on here. Probably going to do some improvements to the instance picker, make that more obvious, make that more useful, especially now that we're kind of moving towards having multiple event worlds in a single event. I think we did that for the Lost Horizons stuff. So we're going to be trying to make that more clear when you go to an event that you can see these different instances. So that I think that's going to be really useful. It'll also make it like less confusing. I talked about this last time, like less confusing for people. If they show up in an instance, we don't want them to be like, it says there's 60 people in the instance, but I'm the only one here. What the heck? So trying to make that a lot more obvious before you enter the world that you are going to be, you can see what you're getting yourself into. If you're going to be if there's full instances, or if you're going to get into a new instance and have to wait for people to join. Yeah, and that's kind of going to carry us through the end of the year, most likely. We have big plans for next year, a lot of improvements, and some new features. The sit point stuff does open up some cool new tech avenues for us. So like, I want to add APIs because we can now attach you to sit points. We can attach you to other things now. So being able to like have a script API for being able to attach things to, attach the users to things. So you can kind of play an animation and attach you to something, or whatever. Just have. I'm sure creators will come up with all kinds of crazy stuff if you're able to attach a character to something. Also, it opens up kind of avenues for having things attached to the character in the world. So like being able to attach things to bones and things like that. That opens up that avenue too with some of the tech we did for dynamic sit points. So that's all pretty great. And it's going to be a really exciting year next year. So it's pretty great. I imagine this is the last one of the year. I don't think we're going to probably do one, and maybe we will. I mean, it would be the 31st, right? The New Year's Eve day.
Yeah, I think this
would be the
actually
next
is
one.
definitely probably going to be the last one of the year. But
Okay.
I mean, unless you guys want to know, I don't know. We'll see. I think this is going to be the
see.
last one.
It may be the last one of the year. So, that'll take us through the end of the year. Plus, there's people are going to be taking vacations and stuff for the holidays. And I hope no one's traveling anywhere to see family and stuff, because of
Keep it virtual.
global pandemic. But, people are still going to take holidays, staycation, that kind of stuff. So Yeah, that'll kind of carry us to the end of the year. Hopefully, we'll get some more good stuff out.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for going into a lot of those things. So, we've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. You guys kind of heard how we're going to, finish out the rest of, or by I say we, the engineering team is going to finish out the other features for the year. Amazing job, you guys. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and switch over into question and answer mode. As always, be sure to type them into chat so we can have record of them and to also be able to say it to those that are on stream, etc. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so as is all or usually the case, Zero Cheese has a couple of them ready for us. All right, Zero says a lot of people would like a way to sell more than one item in one listing, such as if someone creates a shoe, they can
Mm-hmm.
make several different
Mm-hmm.
colors, patterns that could be sold in a fat pack option. So users could purchase a
Yep.
pack at a discounted rate. This could also free up some listings on the store as you would not have to sell one listing per color.
Yes. Yes. That's been kind of a perpetual problem. So we're gonna probably be doing a couple things with the store. So store improvements for in-store client fixes at least. There's a couple things I'd like to do. Maybe one thing we could do in the short term, rather than is at least moving it so you can have multiple listings on one page, so you can do color variants. So you don't have to fill it up that way, but more like you can select a different variant and buy it, kind of like you can with like a real online store where you can pick different colors. Maybe do something like that. But we're probably going to be doing some stuff for at least the store improvements that I have in mind right now are a couple. Or there's a couple. So one is we're going to be improving the search history kind of thing. So I don't want to say history, but like just being able to go forward and backward the way you expect to do, like a web browser in the search. So you better kind of if you end up going down a rabbit hole, you can kind of get back out of it. If you like click on a creator and then click on an item and then click on a related item and then you go backward out, you can kind of go back and forward. So that one is that we did that work. We need to finish that up. Another thing we're going to be doing is kind of the storefront page right now just like is the list of the newest stuff, the most recently uploaded. We're going to be switching that so that it's something more like the front page of the codex, or the front page of the store online, where it has the collections, and then it'll have the different kind of tracks for like the different collections, and then like it'll have recents and other things like that, so we can kind of highlight the best creations, and we don't have to highlight kind of every color from it, that kind of thing. So just to give a more curated view of the store, you can still click through to just like the codex where you can kind of click through and see all, and you can search and do all that stuff. It's kind of going to be more like the front page of the codex though. So we're going to move to a model more like that for the in-client store. But yeah, collections is a great idea. Color variants, that kind of thing. It's been on our mind for a long time. We'll just have to get to that work. So
Awesome. All right. Awesome. All right. So the next one is also from Zero. Can we have more choices for the start or end times for events, such as so we can start an event at 3:15 p.m., either allowing us to choose
yes.
start and end times in 15-minute intervals, or give us the option to still input the time manually?
Yes. Probably going to go with the former there, where we have 15-minute increments, or maybe 5-minute increments or something like that. Some kind of more incremented one, rather than just setting the time. We want to probably be more uniform with it, but it is on the list of things to do. I think that might be the new question that gets asked every time, which is good. Keep asking us, and we're going to fix it. That is something that we should do. So. Overall, I think that whole creation flow needs to get whole event creation flow needs to get a little more, needs to get a pass on it. Like it's kind of clunky right now. You have to like click on and you don't like get the image. It's kind of extra clicks you don't need to do. It's kind of clunky. We also need to add things like being able to just click a button to add tipping and stuff like that. So there's only some improvements we can do there for the flow. So
Oh, definitely. Yeah, no, that's good. And if there's any sort of special use case where you guys absolutely have to start something at like a weird time, like 3:13 p.m. or something like that, just let us know and we'll try to fix things for you. But yeah, on a case by case basis till that comes. But yeah. Next one is from Woofers. Will we ever be able to try on things in the lookbook first without having to buy it?
Will you ever? Yes. Like we have so many plans, but that is something we'd like to do. The idea was like we had these kind of plans drawn up that you would be able to do this in Edit World too. So you could kind of put things on or put things in your scene. You shop the store, you say, try this out. You just kind of drag it into your scene like you would anything else from your inventory. And then when you go to publish or you go to cook your character, you go to finalize your character, it would be like, okay, you can't finalize this until you make these purchases. So it's like, here's you tried on a hat and you tried on the pants, so you owe 500 Sansar dollars. Once you click the yes button, then it will buy those things automatically and get your avatar ready to go. That was the same thing for the world. You could like drag in trees and stuff, and it would kind of be like an inventory, a secondary inventory, which is all the store. So you could just drag stuff in, and then at the end you get charged before you could save, you could get charged for your amount. That was kind of the idea. I'm not sure when we're going to get to that, but that's where we need to go. So.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you to the creators that are putting out demo versions right now. It will. It's definitely really helpful, especially for those that want to try stuff on, like high heels and aren't sure if they're gonna fit. And
Yeah.
yeah. So next question we have, we answered VJs in chat. So here's one from both Mihieka as well as Loki Elliott on Twitch. Is it possible to create a physical object with more than one sit point? I think also / dynamic sit point for things like vehicles with passengers.
Yeah. So the only way to do that right now is so it is possible. Like right now, you have to have. Can you do it right now? So you can do it for animated objects, obviously like the roller coasters and things, but you can't do it probably for things like the dynamic objects or keyframed objects just out of the gate because of you don't actually have multiple rigid bodies. You only have a single rigid body. So we kind of set ourselves up for that internally. So it might be something that's relatively easy to add. But there's going to be some work there involved with so like I said, if you look at like the script API, for instance, for like get sit points, it returns an array. Right now the array only has one thing in it, but we kind of tried to set ourselves up for having multiple sit points. We have a little bit of work to do in that like you need to, if you have 100 sit points on a bleacher, we need to be able to like be able to differentiate them easily. It's like when I click on the bleacher, I need to be able to kind of find the sit point I want, even though they're all in one rigid body. So there's a bit of work there for us to do, but we tried to set ourselves up internally for it. But the question on when we get there is going to be a little tricky, I think. But yeah, that would be good. Being able to like have a car with a bunch of stuff and you can drive. Yeah, so we'll see when I can get to that, but try to set ourselves up for it. That's the best I can say.
Definitely. And keep up the awesome work for those of y'all that have put out the stuff for the dynamic sit points. Throwing around people on snowballs, as we did the other day during the community event, was definitely one of the highlights of 2020. I think we can say for all of us. So keep up the awesome creative work, and we can play keep away with Lacey or steal the baby with actually the baby or whatever. So we also have one from Woofer saying, is it possible to get different colors for our names in chat?
Yes. So we are going to be doing a chat people tool overhaul. We've shared some of the plans with that in a meetup from before. So we have if you've seen those plans, we can post those plans again.
Yeah.
But you know, the idea is the chat is going to have like it's going to be a combination of the chat tool and the people tool. So you'll be able to see who's nearby. You'll be able to see your friends, and you'll be able to search for people. But at the same time, you're going to have chat with more color to it, different colors for different people, and kind of a redo of how chat works. Not necessarily redo how chat works, but redo of how chat looks. But yeah.
Awesome. Yes. Definitely we'll try to get that out again if you guys didn't see it either the last one or the last one before last one. But yeah, we shared a little preview of that. Next one we have is from EvoAv. Question. Any update on no throttle media URL fragment updates? And to go with that,
Yes.
can we have Chromium's text-to-speech API enabled so that we can create media that allow better chat awareness for VR users or the visually impaired?
Oh. Chromium chat speech. I haven't really looked at the chat speech stuff. I mean, I have to look into that. The fragment stuff, it's still a very interesting idea. I think that would be good. I need to look into that. It's something that's been, I know we've talked about it a few times, but it's kind of not come up to a place where I can look at it yet. So maybe something I can look at here. That's a good idea. Just being able to just say, maybe the API is different. That way we don't have to throttle it, but it's just like set the fragment for the current page, something like that. And so you can kind of jump between fragments. I think that's a good idea. You know, I think you mentioned having kind of more UI using a media surface to UI that way is a good idea. It's an interesting idea for sure. So maybe something we can look into. But so it's an interesting idea. And maybe it is just having a new API that just says set the fragment for the current page, and then that can be super fast. So.
Yeah, I'll definitely tag you on that so we look into that. All right,
it's good.
We are on to the suggestions part of this, so here we go. First one's from Zero. Events should be able to be linked to a world not on the codex. I have several times tried to post events with a scene not on the codex, and I have to stop and go back to list it on the codex and make it private so nobody sees the world before the event, which I have forgotten to do because it's a lot of steps. It used to work fine without having a world in the codex to post events.
Okay, let's get that down. That would be good. Like I said, we need to kind of go over our whole event flow. It's kind of not great right now for setting up your own events, I feel like. So we should really redo that whole UI and flow. So.
Yes. All right. So that next one is also from Zero regarding events. Event times can't be changed after the event ends. So that's an issue if you want to extend the event after it was scheduled to end.
Yeah.
Also, it would be nice if the duplicate event option also duplicated the event scene as well. So right now all the duplicate does is duplicate the event image and text, and we need the scene to attach to the event I'm duplicating to also duplicate with it as well.
Yes. Yep. Okay. Yep. And then it would be good too if the events didn't just disappear when they ended, especially if they're still ongoing. So we need to do something there. So if like there's still 50 people in the event, it shouldn't just disappear from the codex just because the event ended. Like people are still enjoying whatever the event is. So for the racing rally, for the racing stuff coming up, you know, if people are still having fun, still going through it, it should still show on the codex and make sure other people can join, even if it technically went past the end time. So that's another one we need to fix.
Definitely, and I think part of that's also it's open 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after. I think we've looked at that recently, but we are going to be improving our event flow, and I appreciate all the updates on that front, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the next one's also from Zero. We needed a way to search for items in our lookbooks.
Yes. Yep. We've talked about it many times. It's good. One thing I'm worried about, I need to look into our UI more about how we can do it a good way. Because I think if I do it the same way that we do inventory, it's gonna like take off all your clothes because it's gonna like deselect all the things that you have when it filters the list. So I need to dig into our UI a little more, figure out how to do that properly. But yeah.
Definitely. That would be awesome.
I have a few things to fix there too. Like I know like if you have really big inventories, it can be slow. I did that speed up in the edit world inventory to make that faster. Now, if you have large edit world inventories, I need to do the same thing for the lookbook inventory, but it's a little trickier in the lookbook because of some choices we made in there. So I need to figure that out as well. So I have some improvements to the lookbook. Maybe a good time for me to just go back in the lookbook actually and just do some work. Do these improvements. I want to do those skin uploads too, which I don't think is too much work. So I'd like to get that done
Yes,
too. So we'll see.
I know a lot of us would love that.
Yeah.
This next one's from Lunar, and this is text to speech option for chat would be nice. And I think there's a little follow up kind of on the Evos as well.
Yeah, I mean for VR especially, that would be pretty great. It's probably that's a long term thing to tell you the truth. Like I don't see us getting to that in the short term. So
I will gladly read out anything for $5 Sansar. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, definitely would be cool. Next one's, we have a lot from Vitamin C actually. We had a little
Thank
bit
you,
of an
Vitamin
essay.
C.
Thank you.
That's great. Great
So,
feedback.
the first one.
I can just read. Maybe I'll just read.
Yeah,
them all
sure.
and
Go
just kinda
ahead.
Answer in a row. So, number 1, allow us to attach object plane to main player camera through scripting, so we can place HUDs in front of main player camera when they spawn or when we want it to be shown. That's a great idea. I think that some of this work I did for the sit points actually might help with this. So at the very least, I might be able to attach it to the avatar. I got to think about how we do the in-person camera, but that would be good too. You want to what you want to do is be able to match it right to the frame, so that when you move the camera, it stays attached. You can kind of move it. Now, the only thing we can do with UI right now is probably with the be like 3D objects or other stuff. I mean, it's going to be kind of awkward to interact with, but maybe you don't need to interact with it. Maybe it's just for health or whatever. So we need to get just in general scriptable UI. I hope that's a task we can tackle next year, because that would add in-world scriptable UI. At the very least, like I said, we're going to be adding some stuff probably to allow you to attach things to the avatar. So that might help get us at least halfway there to this HUD question. Okay, number 2, allow us to import MP4 or a type of video format through the uploader in Sansar so we can play it on a surface. It's a good idea. I'm not sure how I'm trying to think of, right now we basically just use Chromium's video player. So maybe we can do the same thing, something similar, instead of having to upload it to YouTube to play it, or upload it to another streaming service or whatever to play, another video upload service to play it. But one problem is that it's going to kind of not be great, because we're going to bake it into the scene and then have to download it and stuff like that when you join the scene. So if it's a really big video, it might take forever. So there's some problems there versus YouTube where you're kind of getting a streaming of it. But maybe those are things that can be solved. Maybe we do streaming of it, stuff like that. So for right now, that's probably not going to be on the short-term roadmap or the medium term. That's probably more of a long-term thing. Give us the ability to set up friction for avatar in our world to slide on surfaces, ice sliding, parkour games, all kinds of fun stuff can be done like this. Yes, that would be good. I need to think a bit about that. There are ways to do it. So that would be good. Give VR players the ability to spawn a second camera, grabbable, which is attached to their main camera. So it doesn't update based on player's position, simply be attached to the bone and be client side only. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I mean, attached to the other main player camera. Okay. I'm trying to think through this kind of second camera stuff. Maybe we can follow up on that, get a little more detail on that. We don't support right now having multiple draw frames. We wanted to do stuff where you could have a selfie camera and see what you're going to take with selfie camera. We don't have that ability right now. But being able to place a camera and then attach your camera to that camera, so it's a fixed point perspective, so you can move around relative to that camera, is maybe a possibility. So we need some type box volumes where we can control the environment tint colors in that specific volume, like a post-process effect where everything happens only within that box. Yeah, I mean, that would be kind of a post-process effect. It would be kind of like a rendering technique kind of thing. probably not going to happen anytime soon. Give us screen space distortion, good for heat haze, water reflection, explosions, all kinds of stuff. Yes, more VFX effects. One thing we might do in the short term is in edit world, this is not necessarily this kind of thing, screen space distortion, but in edit world right now you can kind of like change those sliders for your to set up like black and white or like tune shader, that kind of stuff. And we might expose those through script, so you can at least control the like if someone drinks a potion, you can have it change to black and white, that kind of thing, where you can control the scene shader through script. That's probably the thing that's going to happen the soonest in terms of script control, or not script control, shader control. That's probably the thing that's going to happen the soonest for shaders, is being able to control the scene shader for individual people in the scene or for the scene as a whole from script. The ability to rewrite WASD keys through scripting, so we can drive cars or other useful things with the same movement keys that we use for main avatar. Yes, that's a good idea. We're probably going to be doing something kind of like sticky sit points. So when you sit and you can have a sticky sit point, so you have to press like F to get up or something like that. But in the meantime, you can use WASD to while you're in that sticky sit point, and only F will get you up, so you can kind of drive. That's a good idea. I know Steel has been pushing me to do that, and it's something we could do. Just have it be kind of the same thing as the sticky grab points. So kind of you hit a key to get up. Maybe it's E, maybe it's F, something like that. So it's possible that might be coming sooner than later. Video triggering animation through scripting with left key while moving avatar with WASD. Playing an emote, good to trigger a sword swing with left click while running without stopping the avatar from moving while the animation is playing. Yes, so you can do this, but only for upper body animations. I do need to do a fix, like if you go to like the full spectrum zombie scene, which is called, what's it called? I already forgot. I'm not good at names.
Point of no return.
Zombie scene. Point of no return. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
They do some of this where they do upper body animations. You can, that's an option in the scripting system. But yeah, being able to have a full body emote while moving would be good. But for right now, you can do upper body sword swing stuff with that. There are some problems because there is a fix I need to do where the physics and the animation get desynced. So I need to have a new API probably to keep those in sync. It just has to do with how we do the animation playback. Like the first use case for doing the emotes was to do the synchronized dancing. And when you do the synchronized dancing, it kind of messes with our local prediction physics. So because of the way that time works between the different clients, to get the synchronized dancing to work, we gave up that. But there's a way to do it so that the physics lines up. I need to do kind of a little separate API. It's more of like a request to play the emote. So that would fix the physics. So there's a little bit of work there, but you can do upper body emotes while running, so through script. Give us the ability when we block a person to also add a small note reminder reason for why we block that person. Hacker, obscene, racist, and a way to see the reason when we click that specific person in nearby chat or from a block list window. Seems like a good idea, not too hard to add. So it may be something we add. Ability to scroll the albedo in transparent plus multivap shader, either individual or with other inputs. Scroll the albedo. Okay, there may be something we can look at. Let's make sure to get. Can we make sure we transcribe these?
Yes.
So we don't lose them
We
in
are,
chat.
We definitely are.
Fantastic. Or just take screenshots of them so we can come back to them. But those are really good things for us to look at. And thank you for taking the time to post those. It's a mix of when we're going to get to those things. Some are probably sooner than later, but we'll try our best to address those. Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah. A lot of that's really good and covers a lot of the questions. We do have a lot of other ones for feedback. Okay. Also, as a bit of an update, one of the things that was suggested, I believe, by Nikki last product meetup was actually the ability to, submit worlds that you guys think are cool for featuring in the Nexus. And I know we're going to be doing a bit of a Nexus overhaul, but in the new year, hopefully the plan is for I'm gonna put up a sign up sheet so if you guys want to submit worlds that are cool, and we can take a look at them and put them all up. So thank you for that suggestion at either the last product meetup, the product meetup before that. But thank you, Nikki. Appreciate it. Next question is from Dr. Fran. Could we have organized lookbook items into categories, please?
Yeah, like some of that is search, some of that is like tags, some of it is folders. Yeah, there's a lot to do there, but I'm not sure when that's going to get done. But we've talked about folders in inventory forever. Lookbook items are just inventory, so having folders would be really helpful.
Definitely. The next one is resizable font in chat, please.
That may be something we can look at when we do the chat overhaul, having like a slider for font size. It's just a setting, it's just a setting in the UI, so it should be fairly easy to do. And hopefully we don't mess up the stuff too much, but it's a good idea.
Next one is from Evo. Oh, well, sorry, go ahead. Are you saying something?
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay. No worries.
Okay.
Evo was following up on the Chromium, saying Chromium has that built in. You just need to enable it. Text to speech, please forward. So,
okay.
Yeah?
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, Evo, if you want to follow up, I can connect y'all too. Happy to do that. Couple of different requests from Loki Elliott. 2021 requests, he says. Allow us to add our own items to the backpacks, please.
Yes. Yep. We talked about that a lot. Hopefully once we get this reaction stuff done, that might be next.
Awesome. Yes. Next one is, can we add Valve finger tracking in 2021, please?
In 2021, I think we can. We we have it kind of set up for it. We're just not doing it quite yet. So I don't think it'd be too hard to add, but it's a good idea. We got to stay up on the latest. So.
And then the next one from Loki was also a 2021 request. Can we give VR users the ability to take snapshots, please? I think we kind of covered this earlier.
Yeah, I mean, we need, not sure where we're going to put the button, but would be good. Maybe we can figure out some sort of gesture or something.
Awesome.
It would be good.
We have two more questions. So first one's from Bieka. Lookbook, could the items we adjust remember translation, resize, rotation, so we don't have to redo them every time we drop and retouch an item on the same avatar slot?
Yeah, I mean, most likely the way we do it is to... Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best way. It might be something like you save that item back to your inventory or something like you do in Edit World. Trying to think of the best way, because maybe we can store that metadata somewhere. Yeah, we just need to store that data. I'm not sure where exactly we're going to store it, but it's a good idea.
Definitely. And the last question we have is from DNA Elite. How hard would it be to have your avatar's eyes to track other avatars within, a 3 to 5 foot distance? It would bring more connection and make the other avatars feel as if you're really paying attention to them.
Yeah, I mean, we can do that. We wanted to do, Alex has been pushing me to look at IK for a while. So when you're in desktop especially, VR, it was less so, but maybe we can do something with the eyes to make sure that you're kind of getting eye contact. But for desktop, definitely we wanted to be able to look at a speaker, whoever's speaking. We don't want to do the whole tennis kind of thing where you're kind of looking back and forth all the time, but maybe you kind of lock on to somebody while they're talking, and then you kind of slowly drift to another person when they start talking if you're in desktop. Just to kind of get that better connection to, because desktop, you're kind of just standing there like this right now. So even when people are talking, you're kind of looking around automatically, or being able to maybe, along with that, instead of just looking at the person, maybe we were talking about having it so that when you move your camera in desktop, that your head would move around. So you can kind of see, everybody can see kind of where you're looking. So that would be a good thing.
I actually realized there's two other ones. One's from Fiyoka saying maybe we just give the event an after party option with full editing options on how that works at the event and their timing.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's a good idea.
Smash that after
After
party
party.
button.
Yeah.
Good idea, Fiyoka. Thank you. And the last one is from Loki Elliott saying 2021 request. Can we make an option to adjust the distance that we can pick up stuff? So, you don't have to be like right next to something to pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, we do that for teleport already, right? Like, we should be able to do it for pickup too. Like, that's just a setting. I mean, the only thing is like, it's not a big deal, but like, yeah. I mean, we do it for teleport, so it shouldn't be so bad. To do for pickup. Maybe we can set it as a world option. The one thing I have with like setting all these world options that I don't like so much is like, I like that people know the rules when they kind of go into a scene. So like, not every scene has always these different crazy rules. Like, you know, in this scene, I can like already you can set gravity and all that stuff, which is great. But like some like core fundamental aspects of Sansar, it's nice to have kind of the same rules where it's not like I'm just, gesturing and I click and I point. I'm trying to point at somebody. And instead of pointing, I like grab an object 400 feet away. That kind of stuff is, make sure that people understand what's happening in a scene and have some core fundamental rules that everyone kind of gets. So I'm kind of torn about it, but I mean, it's a good idea. But that's kind of my thinking on it. I'm a little torn on like having it be not confusing to people when things happen. So, but
And one last one. This is from Smoke81 on Twitch. Is it possible to deactivate mouse targeting while doing an emote? It's twisting the neck while holding a glow stick, for example.
yes. Oh, that seems like just a bug. So let's get that written down and have Steel look into it. Get it written up.
Sounds
Mouse targeting
great.
while emoting. Yeah. So yeah, let's just have Steel look into that.
All right. Definitely will. Thank you so much. Sean, you're answering a lot of these questions, and I wish I could help more, but, thank you so much for, helping out with these and answering the technical questions. So thank you for coming to Sean's TED Talk. No, thank you so much, though. Thank you guys for all coming to the product meetup. We've got some really cool events going on later today, like Infinite Energy, Oasis Dance, the Lollipop Race, and many, many more, like Illuminati and others. I haven't taken a look at the events calendar, but yeah, we'll see you guys there. And thanks for coming to the product meetup, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Woo! All right.